character functions in SQL. So let's start with the ASCII. So basically what ASCII does is it returns the ASCII value of a specific character. So for example, if you have customer name, so it will return the ASCII value of that customer name from the customer table. Let me show. So this is the, because they are starting with A, so the ASCII value is 65, for B it's 66, from C it's 67 accordingly.
Oh, it gives the first character's ASCII values, eh?
Yeah. Then we have a character length. So basically it returns the length of the string. So if you want to know a length of a particular string, so it will give you the length. For this, it will give the length as 12. It will count space as well. Same for char length, the character length are both the same. They will give you the current that length of that string. Then we have concat. So concat, what concat does is it's basically it adds the expressions. Let me show you. So you have all these expression. If you don't give the space in between, so it will not give you the space here.
Okay.
Then we have concat WS. So what it does is in the syntax is almost the same, but here we tell us what separator we want. So like in this case, we want a dash as a separator. So what it will do is so it will, instead of space, it will put dash.
So sorry, what exactly did you do there? This is
WS
concat underscore WS. Okay,
yeah.
Got it.
So first you need to give the separator, then you need to give the string in which you want to concat. So for example, if you want to make a date and you have dates in separate columns, you can use this.
Okay. Got it. Okay.
So for concat WS, you just need to give a separator and it will concat the remaining string based on the separator. So then we have a field. So this works like that. For example, we have multiple strings like this SQL, and we want to know the position of this particular string. In this case, for example, we want to know the position of Q, where it is in the string. In the so it will give us the position as 2.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, like this, it will give the position as 2. But if you put it in a single string, it won't work.
So the field has to be complete, right?
Yeah.
That's what you're saying. Yeah. Okay.
We need an exact word, or basically, if we need a multiple strings in a if you want to find its position in a particular single string, this function won't help you in that.
Okay. Got it.
Then we have a find in set. So it's same as if we have a list of string, then we can find its position. So like these were comma separated, and if we want a position of Q, it will give us the position number.
Okay.
Then, yeah.
I have one quick question. So here, for example, assume if Q is there in multiple positions, so in that case, will it return only the first one, or how it works?
It will return the first one.
Okay.
Let's see. In field or in field in set, where in which
field or field in set? Yeah, field in set or anything is fine. Yeah. Just I'm trying to understand.
you want you here as well. So yeah, whenever find the first one, it will return that value.
Okay.
Then we have a format. So basically it helps in the rounding of a decimal. So for example, we have a particular value like this and we want to round it off to 2 decimal. So using this function you can round. So if you want up to 3 decimal, you can just, instead of 2 you can put 3. Then we have an insert function. So insert function, what it does is in a string, this is a string. This is a position from which we have to start. This is a position to which we have to end, and we want to insert example in this string. So like this. So W3 school is our original string, and we want to insert example in the position 1 to 9. So what it will do is it will replace W3 school and it will put example. So it overrides the existing string with the new. Then we have a in str. So it returns the position of a particular string in this string. For example, I need to know the position of 3 in this W3 school. So then it will give me the position of that W. So here it will give the position as 2. So if we want a position of dot, the position will tell. So within a particular string, if you want a position of particular character, it will tell you.
Okay.
Then we have a lower L case. So basically it just converts the existing string to a lowercase. Then we have a left. So it will extract the number of characters, basically the number of characters you give here from the left side of the string. So for example, if in this equation, it will extract SQL. If I give it 4, it will extract space as well. So if you want to extract from the left side, you will use left. Then similarly, we have a right as well to extract from the right. Then we have a length. So length will give you the length of the string. Then we have a locate. So it's also the same function as in str. So it will give you the position of a particular string. The only difference is the syntax. Here you need to give the string which you need to find out before, and in this case you have to give it at the end. So the function is the similar. It will give you the position of 3 in this string. And then we have a lower. Lower will just convert all the string into lower case. Then we have a L pad. So basically what L pad does is it gives the padding on the left side.
Sorry. So what is the difference between instring and locate?
Only the syntax. So here I need to find 3. So I am giving the 3 at first, then I am giving the string.
Okay.
But if you go to in case, so in case is insta.
In string.
Yeah, I am giving the string first and then the 3 which I need to find.
Mm-hmm.
The result would be the same. Only the syntax is different both the cases.
Acha, okay. Why would they want to do that actually? Have a different one, but anyway, so no problem. Yeah, carry on. It's like the same function in like just juxtaposing the fields, huh?
Yeah.
The inputs. Okay.
So
no worries. Let's go ahead. Yeah.
Interchange the position of the strings. So LPAD. So what LPAD does is, this is my string. I need to make the string of 20 character, and so this is 12. We checked it. So this is 12. Now I need to make it 20 character and with the ABC padding. So what it will do on the left side, it will add ABC unless the string turns into 20 characters. So we have 8 ABC, basically ABC, ABC, AB, and now the total string length is 20. So it will just pad that till the length reaches 20 with the string which you give.
Swap, can we control that ABC? Like, can we give our own custom names or?
You can give anything. So if you want X, Y, X, Z only, so it will give X, Z, X, Z, X, Z.
Got it.
And for example, if you give a bigger string,
Mm-hmm.
it will take only that much character that fits the padding.
Wonderful.
It will leave the remaining one. Then we have left trim. So what it does is it removes the space from the left side of the string. If you have, it will remove the space and it will give you the string without the spaces on the left side. Then we have a mid. So it will extract the values from the basically this is a string. This is our starting position and this is the number of characters which we want to extract from a particular string.
LPAD is unique, huh? So there's a RPAD also?
Yeah, we have RPAD as well.
Okay. Any guys, anyone can think of a use case for it? LPAD?
LPAD, no, Chaitanya. It's at this point in time, I have never worked on it. Maybe Swap, do you have any?
So maybe
Chaitanya, there is some scenarios in which, for example, we have a numeric field. Okay, so if we have zero before that, so what happens is, for example, I have 235. Okay, but my string length, basically number length is 10. So it will only show 235. Now I need to convert that into a character string and make sure that 235 should be 000235. In that case, we'll use left pad. So it will put a 0 in before 235. It would look like this. So we need it of a 10 length.
This is fantastic. Got it. Okay. So like account number, right? For example,
Yeah.
Right? SBI account number is a good example. There are a lot of zeros before it. Okay, fantastic. That's great. Jairam, you were saying something.
No, I was trying to say some other application similar to this. Yeah.
Okay. So then we have a mid. So if we want to extract something from a middle of a string, so all this is our string, this is our start position, and this is the number of characters we want to extract. So in this case, it will extract TUT.
Okay. Got it.
Then we have position. So it's same with the locate function. The syntax is instead of comma we need to put in. So it will give the position of 3. Then we have a repeat function. So repeat is if you want to repeat a string particular number of times. So this is a string and this is 3 number of times we need to repeat it. So end result would be SQL tutorial 3 times. So it is. It won't give you spaces between the repeat. Okay, then we have replace. So it's like a find and replace function in SQL. So in a given string, I need to replace SQL with HTML. So it will read the string, it will find the SQL, and it will replace it with HTML. It is.
Swap, so it will replace all the SQL, like let's say if there are repetitions of SQL, it will replace everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then we have a reverse. So what it does is it gives you the mirror image of SQL tutorial.
Yeah, this is also unique, huh?
This is a funny function.
We don't find this. There is one more also. I just found it's very unique to SQL.
So it will give you the mirror image of SQL tutorial.
Oh, that's fun. What's the other one? We just I think you just go back. What was the other one?
LPAD.
No, not LPAD. There was one more also which I. Sorry.
Might be repeat.
No, repeat is there in almost everyone. Okay, cool. I think we will just LPAD. Of course, we just discussed that now. Cool. We'll come back to that later.
Yeah. Then we have right. So it's just the opposite of left. So it will extract 4 characters from the right of the string. So left extract from the left and right extract from the right side. And then we have similarly rpad. So if you want to do the padding on the right side, it will just do that padding.
Okay.
Then we have rtrim. So it will trim the trailing spaces. It will remove the spaces after tutorial and give you the result. And then we have a space. I don't know why this function would be used. So let me show the space. If you want a space of 10 characters, you run this code and you will get the space.
So what did it do? Sorry.
So basically it gives you
difficult to figure out what it did.
So it will give you the spaces. So
Okay.
I need 10 spaces. So it will give me the spaces. I can concat this. Basically, I can use the concat function with it.
Try it with something else, na?
Yeah.
With like before after.
Let me use the concat.
It's a silent contributor, huh?
Yeah, kind of. I don't know how it will work with concat. Let's try. It's not working.
It really is a silent contributor.
Yeah, as for that, it will retain the 10 space characters.
Huh.
I don't know where we are going to use this, and they didn't give any description where we can use it.
But okay, got it. Yeah. Okay.
I thought of it would work like this. If you want a space,
No, is it because HTML suppresses additional spaces, right? Is it
yeah,
because of that it's not showing here?
I don't think so. If I put a space here, let me put a normal space. Yeah, HTML is suppressing it.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's suppressing the spaces.
Cool. I think in regular HTML, regular SQL, it will work.
Yeah, I will check it how it works. Then
Okay.
we have so it's a string compress. So it compares the two strings. Basically, it will compare the length of both the string, and it will tell if left hand side is bigger than the right hand side, it will give 1. If right hand side is bigger than left hand side, it will give -1, and if both are equal, it will give 0. So it's somewhat like this. If string 1 equal to string 2, it will give 0. If string 1 is less than string 2, it will give -1, and string 1 greater than string 2, it will give 1. Let me try this as well. So let me introduce 1 here. So in this case, it will give us -1. Okay. Left side, okay, yeah, string 1. So left side is greater than right side. So it will give you -1, and here it will give 0, and here it will give 1. So when we need to compare two columns, we can use that for the length. Then we have a substring. It's similar to the mid function we saw. So you'll give your string, you'll give your starting position, and you will give your end position. Oh, sorry, the number of characters. So it will extract that particular value. Then we have a substring doing the same function. Then we have a substring index. So here, Jairam, this will help you solve your question. That if you want a second space or not. So here is substring index. So right now its position as 1. So it will give you the index. It will give the value before that dot. If I give it -1, it will start from the right, and it will give me that com.
Okay, got it.
And if I give it 2, so it will give me this much value. So yeah, if you give a negative number, it will start from right. If you give a normal number, it will start from left. Okay, then we have a trim function, so it will remove all the leading and trailing spaces from a string. And then last two function is uppercase and upper. It will convert the whole string into the uppercase.
Substring index is also unique, huh?
Yeah.
Have you guys found this in anything else? Any other programming language? Substring index?
Not a similar one. We have to use like 2-3 functions to arrive at that kind of functionality.
Correct. So I mean, you'll have to make it.
Yeah.
Here it's right there. Yeah.
Yes.
So obviously, because of all the functions, you can eventually get to it. That's the fun part, of course. But here it gives you. See, it saves you some trouble, right? So to make this. So even let's say that padding thing, LPAD or something, right? So that
LPAD,
one.
RPAD.
Yeah, LPAD, RPAD. Instead of making it just right there, you can sort of quickly finish.
Yeah.
Anyway, good, interesting. These are the ones that will make things interesting and unique.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it has been, all repetition of the same functions everywhere.
This reverse, I don't know where we'll use it in actual. So it just gives them mirror images.
Now, sometimes, let's say if the programming output is reversed, right, for whatever reason, then you can quickly reverse it and get to the regular. Like an example of this would be, let's say, I mean, this is a funny thing. Let's say, so you get let's say you're extracting text from videos, for example. Okay. Because of mirror images that you find in reflections, right, you may get reverse text, right? So you can quickly reverse it back.
Yeah.
Right. So interesting.
Yeah. If you want to send a coded file, you can use this as well.
Very, very easy now. The world has gone far beyond that kind of coding. Right. Now people are calling dematerialization. Dematerialization is used in another context. You know what it is?
Mm-hmm.
So when people used to have physical shares, okay? So in financial markets, so they used to have when you own a share, you'll actually get a paper share certificate. Okay. So about 10 years ago, even now that process is still there if somebody still holds those old shares. So when you want to convert that into your whatever online account, which is called, it's called online. It's still called dematerialization, wherein you send them the physical certificate. They will do the process, and it will now get added to your online account. That process is called dematerialization.
Okay.
Anyway, so let's move on. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all from for today from my side.
Okay.
So if you have any questions.
All good from my side, Swab.
Yeah, all good from my side.
Question.